Today, we are going to listen to Dr. Naveen Dham, founder and CEO of G Info Technology Solutions. He's going to speak about cybersecurity risk assessment and how it helps to ensure appropriate security controls are chosen, saving time, efforts, and resources. Dr. Naveen is a veteran security strategist and holds rich experience in information security implementation, maintenance, IT security auditing, and IT service delivery. He has a BTech in computer science and MSc in cyber forensics and information security. And he is armed with all prestigious global certifications. He has been honored with Global Award in London in the year 2011 for his exemplary work in information security implementation and IT service delivery domains. He is a certain empaneled auditor and a well-known speaker. Welcome, Dr. Naveen. Very happy to have you here with us. Over to you.
So here we will be talking about cyber risk assessment today. So wherein, what happens is whenever we do cyber risk assessment or any company call us for, assessment of their cybersecurity posture. So normally what we do is we do vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, and some of the red teaming stuff. So, and we provide the report to the management. But what happens is when we provide a technical report to the management and we say that let's say a report says we found a SQL injection vulnerability, and it can the hacker can go into your database using this vulnerability. When it penetrates the vulnerability and exploit the vulnerability, and we give very technical jargons to the management, and in the report we normally consultant write those things in the report. But when it goes to the higher management like CFO, CEO, they don't understand the technical jargons, and they'll say what I'll do with this particular vulnerability. But when we map those vulnerability with the business risk, that let's say this is a vulnerability, SQL injection. Now, if some hacker penetrates that vulnerability, after that, let's say he is successful in exploiting that vulnerability. After exploitation, you may have these risks, and due to which you may have a business risk, like you may have a financial risk, you may have a legal risk, your reputation risk could be there. Customer can lose you, or you may have a data risk. So likewise, we map the technical vulnerability with the business risk. So that is very much understandable by the board. Otherwise, if you give technical report, the IT people will be behind the leadership for closure of the vulnerabilities. But when you show this kind of report, which shows the entire business risk, that my business could be on the stake if this vulnerability is exploited, I may have a reputation risk. Then the management will follow the IT. That will vice versa. Otherwise it will be other way around. Otherwise, IT team follows management for closure of the vulnerabilities. But when they see these kind of reports, that will become a boardroom issue. Every boardroom meeting, they will be asked, management ask the IT team for the closure of those vulnerabilities, because they know that their business is at stake because of these vulnerabilities. So this is how we are showing the entire cyber risk management. When cyber risk report to the management, we are creating those reports, and that is not only a pure VAPT. That comprises of 5 different elements. So we create 5 different teams in that. The very first team will do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, and second team will do, what they will do is, the second team will do red teaming. The first team will do VAPT, second team will do red teaming, third team will do dark web assessment, fourth team will do OSINT. Where OSINT, what we do is we find different we find whether your information is not flowing in open internet to various different platforms. And fifth team will do the GRC audit. So when we combine all the results of all these five different teams, it will give you a beautiful report. So can you go to the first slide? Yeah. So this is about us, about us. You can show. I'll quickly take you through that. I am actually ex Wipro. When I left Wipro, I worked with Serco for 8 years, and I was heading the security over there. And I have 2 decades of rich experience, which I think Manju has already described about me. So I'll let you know quickly that I have 2 decades of rich experience in information security, implementation, maintenance, IT security audit, and IT service delivery. I'm BTech in computer science, masters in cyber forensics and information security, and I'm I have got doctorate from Socrates Social Research University. So I am certified CISA, ISO 27001 lead auditor, lead implementer, certified PCI DSS implementer from BSI, ISO 20000 lead auditor, 22301 implementer, and ISO 9001 lead auditor, lead implementer, ITIL, MCSE, and a bearer of A plus certification from CompTIA. So I was honored with a global award in London in year 2011. And the clients which I have served are Panasonic, Wipro, Aircel, FCL, Stellar Data Recovery, Punj Lloyd, Apollo Munich Health Insurance, Max Healthcare, Usha International, then Interglobe is our client, then CK Birla entire group is our client, like Orient Cement, Orient Electric, Orient Papers, and Naukri.com is our client. Then Future Generali Health Insurance, and even IIT Roorkee is our client. Lot many other clients we have across the world. So can you go to the next screen about us? Yeah. So I started this organization GI by the name of Global IS Consulting in the year 2012, and after that in year 2017 I incorporated it in the name of G Info Technology Solutions Private Limited. And in 2017, in 2019, US Air Force Department of Defense, they sent a challenge in the market that can anybody hack us? So I said, why not? So we accepted that challenge, and we found a lot of vulnerabilities in the environment, due to which it took them 6 months to close those vulnerabilities. We were after their life, and after 6 months, they sent us a thanks letter as well. And that thanks letter worked like a catalyst for me. And we got a lot of business from India. And in US, I had to incorporate one organization by the name of G Info Technology Solutions INC in 2019. So we have one organization in US, then in Canada, Qatar, Dubai, Bahrain, and we are a certain empaneled organization, and received appreciation from US Air Force. We have been rated as one of the top 10 most promising cybersecurity companies in India, rated as Consultant of the Year 2020 by Business Connect magazine. And we have received vast coverage in almost every newspaper. Actually, what we did is we found one vulnerability in our researchers. Yeah, they keep on finding different vulnerabilities in different environment, and they found one vulnerability in the Google and Apple store. There was one application using which I can spoof your phone number, and I can call anybody, like your family, friend, or colleague. They will think that you are calling. So that was very much vulnerable. We raised an alarm with INS. They spread it across India in different newspapers, and almost every newspaper, people were knocking our door at that time. So that was one of the achievements. And nowadays I am selected as the technical advisor in the Tech Talk show, which is there in which is hosted every Saturday on Times Now TV channel. And there where we call, now we are the sponsor also of that show. In that show we call technical, the companies and CEOs and CIOs, or the people who have used the technology, and that technology has helped them to improve their performance. So we call them on that show, and we show to the entire world that how India is progressing in digital world, and Digital India mission is getting successful Cool. And over that show, I talk about cybersecurity every week, Saturday, 11:59 p.m. on Tech Talk Show times now. And about us, like we are maintaining, PCI DSS for entire ITA agents, and we are partners to Big Fours as well. And we have taken some initiative towards complementary risk advisory and security awareness through our online platform and mobile application to the masses. So what we have done is during COVID time, I thought why not to help the industry. So due to that, I created one platform online which you can go to our website, which is gisconsulting.in. Over there, you will find get your cyber risk assessment done free of cost. So if you click on that button, you will be taken to a platform wherein you have to create your username, password, and after that it will ask about your entire company's details, all the assets and web application, mobile application, network. So when you put those in our platform and just press the scan button, you just sit back and relax. Our team will do the entire assessment free of cost and will give you a beautiful report which shows that how many vulnerabilities are there in your organization and what is the risk, cyber risk on your organization, which is totally free of cost. Up to this, it is free of cost, and doing this only, a lot of companies charge lakhs of rupees, but we did it free of cost in during COVID time, and still we are doing free of cost. And many companies are using our platform nowadays to check whether their environment is risk free or not. So that was what I did. And for cybersecurity awareness, we have one application. You can go to Apple Store or Google Store. You can find by the name of Cyber Alert. So Cyber Alert is under the initiative of Cyber Education and Research Institute of India. So that I am the chairman of that institute. So I created that particular platform for educating the masses. A person can become cybersecurity expert, like a person who does not have any even a single knowledge about cybersecurity. Even he can understand, because zero level is for people who don't have any knowledge about cybersecurity, and if they can go up to 7 level. They when they cross 7 level, they will be cybersecurity expert. So that is what is also a noble initiative. So my dream is to make uh, in every family which is internet connected family, at least one person should be a cybersecurity aware, so that he can protect his family. So that is the dream. Let's see how it get fulfilled. That I don't know. So let's go to the next theme. So that is why now I'm nowadays on TV giving the education to the masses. So maybe we are going with that particular application to the masses, and we have started giving to the schools now. And starting from school now, we will be giving it to the different masses as well. So, like services we offer are, we are into security consulting, wherein we provide all kind of security in all compliances of cybersecurity, security implementation and maintenance, then resource augmentation and training, IoT security and cyber forensic, then security testing as well. Yeah. Next screen, please. So now we'll come to the cyber risk assessment, wherein now you ask yourself these questions. Do you see exponential growth in your business by going digital, but are not sure about how secured this transition would be? How would you pop up with the increasing amount of legislative, corporate, and regulatory requirement to convince your stakeholders that you are confidently managing and protecting critical information completely? Can you evidently convince yourself and your stakeholders that this corporate is secured from the threats from cyber criminals and hacktivists who are growing in scale and sophistication as well, right? Do you model tech practical and cybersecurity strategies while protecting your 5-year plan? Are you continually evolving your cybersecurity architecture to respond to changing digital environment? So these are the questions you should ask yourself. So next screen, please. And now you ask us, do I need help assessing whether the mechanism to manage our risk are mature? Should I consider to create a stronger security culture within my organization? Do I need a better understanding of whether I comply with the varied regulatory requirements? Am I looking to take greater control, ensuring that my organization is prepared for evolving cyber security landscape? What should I be considering as a part of cybersecurity strategy? Right? So by conducting a combination of interviews, workshops, policy, process reviews, and technical testing, our team makes a positive view to managing cybersecurity and the risk assessment, and identifies current gaps in the compliance and risk management of information assets, assesses the scale of cyber vulnerabilities, sets out prioritized area for a management action plan. This will allow you to feel free to navigate the cyber security landscape and achieve their business aspirations, right? By working with your team, we can help you take a positive approach to manage cyber risk. Here's what we offer. I'll show that how it is done. So as I told you that we make different 5 different teams. So what those 5 different teams do. So cyber risk assessment consists of the cyber risk compliance assessment. So there are two things. If you see this entire assessment, there are 2 different phases in this. The first is cyber risk compliance assessment, and second one is cyber threat assessment. In cyber risk compliance, we will do the entire compliance audit, which will consist of various different frameworks like ISO 27001, NIST, CIS. So all these, when they come together, there will be around 450 controls which are there. We conduct the thorough audit using these 3 different platforms. And in cyber threat assessment, that is totally a technical audit, which is done by our cybersecurity experts and researchers, and the people who are very good into penetration and red teaming and all those stuff. So go to next step. So even you can also build this capability in your organization if you follow all these standards. So cyber risk compliance assessment, what we do is we do cyber security governance and business risk compliance. The very first step is this, wherein we do cybersecurity management. What we check in the organization is during that audit that how they are managing their cybersecurity framework, and what the business risk related to the cybersecurity, then compliances, laws and regulation, business continuity. Then in asset security, how they are protecting the security of, what is the security of the assets in the organization. And then we do the audit, and we give them a roadmap how to strengthen the security in all those areas, like cybersecurity architecture we review, then communication and network security, like design and protection of network, then identity and access management are reviewed, then security assessment and testing are done, wherein designing, performing, and analyzing security testing. Then comes cyber security operations, wherein incident management, investigation process, and disaster recovery processes are taken care of. Then software development security, wherein we totally check and the understanding, applying, and enforcing software security. Whenever organizations are creating softwares, whether they are using the OWASP standard during the secured coding, because when we are developing any source code, we should make sure that we are using secure code practices during the development of any application. So though that is taken care by software development security. And the next screen, please. So these are the assessment based on NIST, CIS, ISO 27001 standards. So the very first, this is a NIST standard. Somebody must be knowing how NIST standard works, wherein we have 5 different phases: identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. So in identify, we develop an organization understanding to manage cybersecurity risk to systems, people, assets, and capabilities. So the categories which we cover in this is like asset management, then business environment, governance, risk assessment, and risk management strategy. Right. This is totally identify phase, wherein we identify the things which need to be covered in the cybersecurity framework. Then protect phases there, wherein we develop and implement appropriate safeguards to ensure delivery of the critical services. Then in detect phase, we develop and implement appropriate activities to identify the occurrence of cybersecurity events. So this is where the monitoring comes into picture, like security continuous monitoring and detection processes, right? So we build those capabilities and then respond. Respond means any attack has happened now, how to respond to that attack. That is covered into this respond phase. And in recover, the entire recover phase is covers recovery planning, improvement, and communication. So entire business continuity planning and the recovery. So that is covered in this recover phase. So can you go to the next screen? I'll show that how we have now what we have done is we have created this table, which is mapping NIST and ISO 27001 and GIS action item, where I have written GISPL, how we what action we take to cover all these into this particular activity. So we have mapped them, mapped the NIST with 27001 controls and created this platform, where this framework, wherein if we count all these controls, it will be around 450 controls, which we go through and check the entire organization for the cybersecurity management. And if you see, all the phases of NIST are written over here. The first is identity phase, then protect phase. All the controls which are coming in protect phase from NIST standpoint, and 27001, which clauses are mapping to these particular clauses which are there in NIST. We have mapped them, and this is how we have created. So next, go to next one. Then detect phase, respond phase, recover phase. All phases we have covered and mapped with them with ISO 27001 controls as well. Go to next. So here comes cyber threat assessment, wherein this is phase 2. Phase 1 we have covered now. Phase 1, entire compliance, all GRC audits, NIST 27001. So that is the phase 1. So one team will be dedicated in doing that for phase 1, and the another team which will be a technical team, which contains of penetration testers and all those. They will take care of the phase 2. So that is a different team which will do it. And that the very first is infrastructure. Am I audible?
Yes.
Very much.
Just hold on. My screen has gone. So this cyber threat assessment, the very first phase is infrastructure security, wherein we'll be doing it has got 4 different phases: preemption, prevention, detection, and response. In preemption, we'll be conducting vulnerability scanning, then threat intelligence, then security testing, and prevention will be checking device management, how patch management is done, OS hardening, how the organization is conducting OS hardening and taking care of that, manage audit, and active directory pen testing is also very important, and it's very difficult as well. But we should have the capability for doing that. So we do have people who are into active directory pen testing, and then detection phase will be checking that how real time monitoring is being done in the organization, and respond is threat management and incident management. Let's say we are detecting, detection is not enough, we have to respond also, no? We are detecting, but how to respond, how to take care of the incident management. So that comes under response phase, which is very very important. So preemption, prevention, detection, and respond, all these four phases are covered in infrastructure security. So all these the modules which I have discussed are being done in this particular phase. And go to the next screen. So yeah, now comes cybersecurity engineering. Here comes the configuration review, and then ransomware analysis, and then security architecture review. So in configuration review, we check all the configuration of various hold on. So for various different networking devices like switches, router, firewalls, server. So all the configuration of all the devices are being checked. And ransomware analysis, in malware analysis and log analysis, we do the ransomware analysis. In malware analysis, we do baseline process list and approved programs and suspicious accounts, then file permissions, then port. So entire malware analysis in done this particular phase. Then in log analysis, we check that system logs, network log, and technical logs are being captured or not, or we review those logs that is there uh, uh, any unauthenticated penetration is being done by someone, and any logs which are suspicious logs are found or not. So that is done. Then in LAN architecture, in security architecture, we review the entire security architecture of your organization. Please go to the next screen. Then in cyber threat intelligence scope, what we do is we do dark web monitoring. You all of you must be knowing what is dark web monitoring, wherein hackers steal your data and they sell that data on the dark web. That is very much important for the organization to check whether their data is not sold on the dark web. So we do dark web assessment, which covers the entire information of the organization, whether the critical information of the organization is not sold uh, by the hackers. So when you do that, you come to know, yes, this is a threat, and we should take the appropriate action in that case. So digital footprinting also we check. We do brand monitoring also in this phase. So this is another phase which is for the cyber threat cyber threat assessment. And we check information leaks should not be there in different platforms. Then threat hunting intelligence is also done by the team as one of the requirements of this particular cyber threat intelligence scope. So next screen. So yeah, red team based assessment. So this is what I was talking about. Red team means in normal VAPT, what we do is we do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, which has got a scope, a defined scope. But in red team assessment, the scope is open. Like you can penetrate the organization in any ways, and there are a lot many ways. Let's say in VAPT, let's say you are given a firewall to audit, you are confined to firewall only. But in red teaming, you are given an organization to hack, you have to hack it anyway through firewall, through web application, mobile application. Even if you have to call any of the employees and take out the information, or you have to do a phishing through mail, that is also allowed in red teaming. So everything is allowed. Even you can go to the organization and penetrate into it physically and take out the information and hack the Wi-Fi. So that has got a open scope. So red team and blue team are the term which came from the military itself. In military, army, and they used to make two different team, red team and blue team. So red team, they divide their own team into two different teams. Red team will attack, and blue team will protect. So this is how they used to do. This is beneficial for both of them, even attacking uh, uh, team and defending team, because they both will learn that how the other team is thinking, and this team will learn that how the defending team is thinking. So that is a learning exercise for both the teams. So red team is done when we do information gathering, then active interaction, internal access, then we do documentation. In the entire activities, if you talk about, there will be passive scanning, then active scanning, reconnaissance is done, then perimeter testing, physical premise breach, then social engineering is done, phishing and wishing is done, then lateral movement, then privilege escalation is done, data exfiltration, then on-site assessment is done. Then after that, we gather the evidences and create the report. So next screen. So this is these are the vulnerabilities which are covered in red team assessment, and there are various different tools and manual assessment is also done. So manual assessment is very much important, because tools anybody can run, right? So tools are like robots. You put that on the network or the website, they will run and they will give you a result which will be carrying false as well as true vulnerabilities as well. So this is where you will not be a normal person will not be able to segregate which one are true and which one are false. If they keep on closing the false ones, they will go in loops. So they will never be able to close those vulnerabilities. So this is where the experts are required, wherein they will segregate true from the false vulnerabilities and give the true vulnerabilities only to the organization to close. So like we are a certain empaneled organization, when we were appearing that exam, so we were strictly told that you cannot use any tool. If you use any tool, you will be kicked out of the exam, and you'll be not be able to give that particular exam after that. So that is what certain also says, that you should have experts who have the knowledge which tool carries, and you should have a more knowledge than a tool. So tool cannot do everything. We even through manual we can find the vulnerabilities which tools also cannot find. So that is what manual assessment is very much important. So next screen, please. So this is the sample report. I'll quickly take you through that and go to the next screen. So this is the result of web application testing. When we did that, like we found critical, high. We are putting them in different categories: critical, high, medium, low. Then if you talk about cyber threat in IT infrastructure, the upper one is web application. The second table shows the IT infrastructure report, wherein there are again they are categorized into critical, high, medium, low. The next one, please. Okay, so yeah, next one. So here it shows the cyber security risk assessment based on web VA. This is a result of web VAPT which we did, and the very first is serial number, then business asset, vulnerability, what vulnerability was there, observation, then what was the impact, right? What could be the impact if these are exploited? Then mitigation plan is there. So in mitigation plan, we have written all the mitigation plan, and severity we have written critical, high, low, medium. So go to the next screen. So, so this is based on red teaming. The earlier one was web. This is red teaming. Again, the same thing. Then the third one, this is network assessment. So we have uh, given the result of all assessment. So first one was web, then red teaming, now network assessment, then the second. So now if you see this one here, it is showing the business risk also. This is now business risk metric. It is different from the earlier one. So it is showing business risk metric, wherein we have in the last column, if you see, we have written the business risk. We have related these vulnerabilities to a business risk. If these vulnerabilities are exploited, these businesses you may have, like information leakage and data breach risk, then financial risk, then customer retention and acquisition risk could be there. Go to the next screen. It will show some more business. Now, if you see in these vulnerabilities, this was the result of red team assessment when we did the entire vulnerability assessment. Uh, so it showed the very first column is serial number, then asset type, vulnerability, observation, what could be the risk, what are the technical risk, then the business risk. It shows legal, regulatory, reputational risk, operational risk, information leakage and data breach, financial risk, and customer retention risk. So this is how we have mapped all the technical risk to the business risk, right? Next. So same with the network assessment we have done. Earlier results were for red teaming and web application. This is for network. We found the business risk in this as well. Second, next one. So yeah, this is cyber risk mitigation plan. So after completion, we have created this cyber risk mitigation plan, which we should do as a best practice. So mitigation is very much important. Now we have found the risk. Who will mitigate it, right? So we have to make a plan that how we'll do is in which month we'll do like that. Like we in the first column we have written critical vulnerabilities in the network and in application. Web portals are vulnerable. Monitoring of logs is not done. Then absence of ransomware protection, DMARC configuration. So phishing simulation, absence of multi-factor authentication. Like these risks, we have found the key risks and we have written them over here. Second, uh, absence of patch management, absence of ITS, absence of access control. So what are the impacts we have written? Then business continuity plan is absent, absence of disaster recovery plan. Second, next one. So this is a mitigation plan aligned with roadmap. The roadmap which we have seen in the last slides, what we have done is we have written asset name, then what is the type, whether it is application or network or red teaming, uh, what is that, and then how many critical and high vulnerabilities are there, what is the mitigation plan. Can you go to the next screen? We'll be able to understand next. So the plan which we have seen just now, it's written on the left hand side, and these are the identified cybersecurity initiatives which have to be taken, like data sanitization with secure coding has to be done by the organization, and WAF should be implemented. Implement EDR, SOC, MFA, encryption, patch management, information security policies to be implemented, DLP to be. So these are the recommendation which they have to implement in their organization. If they do that, their entire roadmap will be completed. So DMARC configuration, phishing simulation, absence of disaster recovery. They have to create the disaster recovery plan, business plan. Likewise, we have done. Go to the next thing. So these are the key findings. So we have written the key findings and what are their impacts. So that is for the knowledge of the audience. So next screen. So now we have divided this in various quarters. So quarter accordingly, like critical ones. If you see on the left hand side, we have written critical, high, and moderate. So whatever are critical, we have covered in the first quarter, like EDR, MFA, disaster relief, and phishing simulation has to be done all across. Then DLP implementation, SOC, VAPT. Likewise, we have divided in different quarters now. So next. So this is information security compliances. We did an audit, the GRC audit, which we did for them, and we found that IT team is 26% green and 74% red. Then likewise, ISMS team, data center, admin team. Go to the next team. HR team, finance team, legal, management team. So my management is 100% non-compliant. Okay, so next. So this is a beautiful picture which shows that business drivers are strategy, policy and standards, architecture, operations, awareness. So these are business drivers. Then the next one is focus areas, wherein technology platforms. Under technology platform comes data protection, host security, network security, and software security. Functional operations are human resource security, physical and environmental security, legal and contractual compliance, and then third party management, then business continuity management, and cyber threat management covers incident response, security monitoring, threat intelligence, and vulnerability identification and remediation. By looking at this dashboard itself, they will come to know. If you look at the metrics and reporting, it shows low, medium, high, critical. So by color combination, we have shown them on the dashboard only which one is red and which one is amber. So the dark red is critical, right? So management will be able to know, okay, these are the red areas. Firstly, take out these areas and work on them. Like policy and standard is red, then that is amber actually. So the dark red is in cyber threat management, incident response is dark. Then business continuity is dark red. Data protection, host security. So these are by looking at it, they know that which one has to be taken first. So this is what we have created dashboard for them to understand where they are standing right now. So next. So though these are the overview of key improvement areas. We have written the domains and summary for areas of improvement, risk to the organization. So here we have written the domains like policy and standard. This has come from the earlier screen only. From the dashboard only, we have now explained the dashboard, which you have just seen. We have explained it that policy and standard, there is no such formal policy and procedure exists for the information security management. So likewise, we have written all the areas of improvement of the domain, and what is the risk to the organization. We have written them over here clearly, right? Next, please. So this shows that what is the overall rating of the organization. So it could be medium, high, low, critical, depending upon the risk which we evaluate. So for that we have our own metrics. Go to next thing. So these are the brands. Very few brands which are there because cannot be accommodated in a small screen. So there are a lot many others as well. Like we have Naukri.com is not here, and Future Generali Health Insurance. Big brands we are working with, like Ralliger, Panasonic, Usha International, Celebi, even IIT Roorkee is our client. So this is what it is, and next screen. This is about our contact us. We are in India, Middle East, United States, Canada. Go to next screen. That is it.
Can I ask one single question, if you may allow?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, this is Balram Chaudhary. I am from ASK Investments Managers Limited, a Black Swan company. While I was saying that cybersecurity threat assessment, how it should be given, there are the two main questions which is coming in my mind. While we do this kind of assessment, there's still something is missing. That's called, while you develop applications, new applications in your organizations, you do BAPT, threat assessment, red team, yellow team, or whatever that purples and red team assessment which is taking place. But still, I believe that for new application in enterprise, it's supposed to be some kind of threat modeling supposed to be done. Number one. Number two, so nowadays we are so in hurry, and business would like to be a time to market. So always people thinks that to buy and implement some of the applications in your organization. Here, what is happening, that in third-party application, there is a vulnerability. You find it out. But still, that third-party vendor is stating that, no, I will take 6 months, 3 months to 6 months. Now, as a information security professional for your organizations, how do you tackle this? And even either in data protections law or in IT Act 2008, there is no any options given for intermediary, no responsibility given. So as a experienced person, you must have come across this kind of situation. How do you tackle?
Like you are saying that a company is procuring any third party application, and they are.
I'll give you an example. That's called supply chain attack. You can say like which happened in past. So how do you tackle? You know that there is a vulnerability, and still we have to work for the business.
So there is a vulnerability, then still we have to go ahead with that particular application. That is what you are
because
saying.
Business has to run, and we find out there is a vulnerability, and then the application partner is saying that no, I will take 6 months to fix it. So how will we be able to, as a organizations, will be able to quantify this?
So in that case, if they are using any vulnerable application, the first of all, they should not use it. But still, if there is a business requirement and they are using it, and they are accepting the risk, which
no. So organization, as an organization, we are depend on some third party. But what I am trying to say, sir, because if you are meeting with some of the government entity also, so you should be telling that there should be some rules and regulations for intermediary as well, who sell software and application into the market. They cannot straightforward say that, no, I will take 6 months and we are vulnerable. This is my take.
And yeah, you are right that there should be something around this. And if the company is still using it, they should put this under radar, like there are SOC solutions, security operations monitoring should be there on those particular applications which you know.
No, sir. No SOC solutions bill is going to remediate if you are vulnerable to supply chain attack. No, I believe that much.
No, let's say if you are using any application in any environment, and you are monitoring that environment 24/7.
Yes.
Then you will be able to know whether there is any attack coming on that particular application or not. So that should be.
Yes, agree. But you have already told us identify, then detect, then protect, then remediate, and do the continuous monitoring. But during the identifications, we came to know that we are vulnerable, but still there is no patch available. Yeah. Thank you, sir. It was really great presentations.
Now, probably, Mr. Chaudhary, You need to look at two things. One is, of course, contractual binding. You try to include indemnity. Second is look at cyber insurance. Okay.
No, which I'm doing, sir. Which I'm doing cyber insurance only
So
simply.
you have decided to absorb the risk because there is no alternative. Okay, worth considering. So you are
Yes.
trying to live in a risk situation. So it is an absorption of risk. That risk may be yours or your own agent who is part of you. Okay.
But
Sir, my question was there should be
I
some
know you are saying
intermediary
why
guidelines.
the government should not say
Yes.
anything. So even
No,
now,
why as a organization only I should
no,
get penalized?
understand.
That intermediary also
No,
get penalized for the same.
understand. So that is data fiduciary has to take all the responsibilities. Data processor is only bound by the contract, even in the data protection area. So you are feeling that they are going, little, away with negligence. But I think contract law has to be invoked, and otherwise you have to look for alternatives only. No, say you actually reduce the price to cover the insurance premium because you have identified a vulnerability now. You are paying some price until yesterday. Tell him that now I have to take a cyber insurance risk for an identified vulnerability. I will reduce the price accordingly because that is a cost which is directly result of the deficiency in the software.
Sir, I know that, but the problem happens during the while you signing the agreement, not that time. So you have already an agreement, and now there is too many rules and regulations coming into it, and then you suddenly find post 2 years of using them
You
software.
have raised a good point. This is where the security people will have to deal with the management people or whoever has entered into a business contract to advise them that there is a need to rewrite the contract with a change of price if necessary. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramesh, sir.
Dr. Naveen, just curiosity, when you talked about the cyber compliance assessment, right? Combination of 27,001 to NIST framework to, correct? You also said almost 450 controls. So in your experience from the Indian context, where are we? You don't have to take the names of the organizations. Where do you find the maturity?
You want to know the maturity level?
Yeah.
Like from 1 to 5.
Okay.
Between 1 to 5, we can say most of the organizations are at 2. But
interesting data point. See, with the 2 also, maybe then it is not getting reported in public. If I am right, then all that breaches or security issues, etc., they are keeping it under the carpet. If I can correlate that number to the
you are absolutely right, sir.
Absolutely
I am with you.
Absolutely right.
There is no reporting.
No report.
Absolutely. Otherwise, if you would have said that almost 4 out of 5, I am okay to hear. There is no okay, right? Navi sir may not agree that just by having this 27,001 controls, don't tell me that organizations are safe. But what we say that instead of having nothing, something is better, right? So, okay. Fair statement. And you also talked about the security testings, right? Your team does it and so on. What kind of testing they do? Dynamic testing? And what kind of tools they use?
Tools, there are various different tools for different kind of environments. Like in networks, we have different tools, and in web application, we have different tools, and and we have created our own scripts also. Depending upon the environment and the scenario, we have to create our own scripts, and tools had to be designed as per the scenario which is there in front of the penetration tester.
And you perform penetration test as one of your services, what I gone through, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, you also use the CVSS score to give us the, that is the industry standard today, if I'm right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I got it. And I saw that the mapping, what you have done, remote access is managed. I did not see 8.9 for ISO 27001 controls. Maybe I'm missing something. Just have a look at it later.
What did you see?
That mapping, what you talked about, NIST framework to 27,001 controls, that first sheet, One of the area is remote access is managed, right?
Okay.
In which that control A.9, I did not see it talks about A. I understand that you are looking at from the policy perspective, but remote access is also access control, right? Wherein do we have a proper access control? Do we review at regular intervals? Do we learn anything from there, etc.? So I was looking at the A.9 perspective. Just I don't know. Okay. Otherwise, perfectly fine, sir. Thank you very much. Really nice insight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Subride sir, you had a question. You want me to read it out from the chat?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you can read it out.
What is your view on cyber risk quantification models like FAIR model? Are they useful? Any limitations one needs to watch out for while using CRQ?
Let me see which question. What is the view on cyber quantification?
What is your view on
Cyber risk quantification models.
It's a top fourth or fifth question.
I can see that. So cyber risk quantification model is fair. That is not a problem. We can use those models, and they are fairly used in many practices which are being followed by many cyber risk assessment auditors as well. So that is fair. We can use that.
So from methodology point of view, your assessment process and the steps that one has to go through while implementing a CRQ, there are great similarity and overlaps between them, or
Yeah, you mean to say that we have a similarity with those models or not? That's
no, I'm just asking, is it, or what is there in your methodology which is not there in CRQ, and those kind.
Yeah, for like we have our own methodology. If you want to know the methodology, yes, we can take this further because we have our own proprietary methodologies. Which we disclose it to our clients only who are dealing with us. So,
sir, आपने अभी बताया, just you have told to us कि you are allowing organizations to do threat landscape scanning of the organization, and which is free, and still you are saying that it's free. I want to know the URL if you can share in chat.
Yeah, sure. I'll share that. That is I've shared that.
Okay. So whatever informations that organizations is sharing via your website, it should be completely critical and it should be safe. Correct?
Yes. We hack our our own platform every now and then to check whether it is safe or not.
Because recently I have gone through with the Navi sir. He is very big guru, and I learned too many things in in protection and legal world, and that's why I'm asking.
That's good. So, that means he is a good teacher.
Yes, of course.
By your question itself, I could make out.
Any other questions? Reena, you have any questions?
Yeah, I had put the question on chat. So the question was,
okay.
the tools what you are having for metrics reporting, is it integrated with the platform? I mean, how is it working? How the risk score maps up and how the metrics are reported? Is it completely integrated in your tool base?
No, it is not integrated. So that we do it manually. So
Deepak, you have got something? Deepak,
Deepak had posted a question, but he's not here right now.
Okay.
One more thing, that's URL which you have put in, Cyber Jagrukta. What is it about? It is just to spread awareness, is it?
It's a paid one, na? Correct, Mr. Naveen?
Which one?
The informations that the applications which you have asked to download from App Store and install. It's a paid one, correct?
The cyber Jagruta, it's not cyber Jagruta, it's cyber alert.
Cyber alert is paid one, correct?
Cyber alert, yes, right now it is paid for only for some categories, but we are now introducing the free one for the deprived class, wherein they will put their EWS certificate if they upload, so that will become free for them. So we are including that module also into it.
Okay.
No, the
Thank
question was whether how are you building? Are you also contributing to building awareness?
Through cybersecurity, cyber alert.
No, basically, are you taking efforts to build awareness in the community? Is it part of your company portfolio or it's not?
You're talking about cyber alert, whether it is the part of our company portfolio, right?
Yeah.
Yes, cyber alert is my initiative only, and I have created a separate, institution by the name of Cyber Education and Research Institute of India. So through this cyber alert, this application, we are helping the people to get knowledge about the cybersecurity and awareness we are spreading through that. So still this model is not active. We are very soon will be coming up with this particular platform, which will be given to all the organization for their trainings as well. So right now we the application which is there, it is we are not spreading it right now because there are some modules which are pending. We are creating those. Once those are done, we will spread it across to every organization as well as the normal public as well.
Okay, Manju.
This is fine.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen, for joining us today and giving us a view to the step-by-step process and a very detailed view of the reporting. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. We look forward to more sessions from you in the FTP page in the future also. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you very much.